So for this essay, I did mine on the National Association of Mexican Americans, otherwise known as the ANMA. So the ANMA is aiming to help earn more civil rights for Mexican Americans. For too long, all the Americans around have had better lives than you, and that's merely because of race mostly. So that is what we're here for. Things such as female rights, economic, and civil rights. That's what this group was made to combat and take head on to fix. So the purpose of our group was built off of a extreme desire for peace amongst not only us as Mexican Americans, but among people just in the United States in general who come from the lower class races, pretty much anyone outside of white Americans who are treated with privilege in the United States. This group deals with equal rights for Mexican Americans as well as for women and African Americans. And I believe this is a large draw for someone who is trying to join this group is because they accept everybody and they want everybody to be equal, and that's what they strive for. So moving on to some goals for us as a group, it has and always will be for peace from racism and being pushed down by white Americans mostly, or the government, or things like that, outside sources. For too long have races and nationalities outside of white Americans been pushed down out of the way and have not been given a fair shake, and it's time for that to change. And I believe it's time for everyone to rise up and be able to have their shot at being functioning citizens in the United States of America. We also intend to form many coalitions with different groups, such as the American Committee for the Protection of the Foreign-Born, the Progressive Citizens of America, the Civil Rights Congress, and many groups all wanting rights for the minority groups in America, which is huge because the more influence that we have, the more power we have against the people who are higher up, who are trying to push us further and further down. If you're not already sold on the group, then let me show you some of the things that we have accomplished over the years. Some of the things that we have done include providing funds for mine mill strikers in New Mexico, back to minimum wage for farm workers and their right to form unions, as well as joining Civil Rights Congress in the drive for passage of an FEPC, or a Fair Employment Practice Committee, which basically all means that everything we're fighting for is people that are just like you or the minority that would like to join the group. It kind of resonates with everyone because there were so many people at the time that were being pushed down and pushed down and pushed down for too long. It was time for them to rise up and form a group to combat this, as well as so many other groups. But the ANMA was a big one. Here at the ANMA, we want to fight for the rights of not only Mexican Americans, but for the rights for our friends around us. We will do this through our many connections and our start in creating equality all across the U.S. And with anyone else that decides to come to the U.S. No matter what happens or who gets in our way, we are going to stand strong until we see the results that we as Americans deserve.